You can drop a message in the group so that people can
हाँ
help.
I'll do. Just seeing where it opened. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see.
I'll start the music by 3:30. No worries. We will start with the meditation music.
Should we wait for people and then start today? Let them join. Nobody has joined it.
Or else I'll just start with the meditation music. Let
Hmm.
people start.
Yes, let them join. You can leave.
I'll play the music. Yeah.
Huh. Friends, whoever has joined, let's start the meditation with divine guidance from Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji, Mahavatar Babaji, GFOL, and all the masters who are helping us ensure that this divine design as a Swadhyay becomes successful and we all grow in this process. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity of service to render this book to you. Thank you. Please sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Remove your spectacles. Clasp your hands, cross your legs. Ensure that your body is completely comfortable. Let's start with the relaxation process. My forehead is relaxed. My face is relaxed. My neck is completely relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. My upper back and lower back are fully relaxed and relaxed and relaxed. My chest is relaxed. My stomach is relaxed. Hips are relaxed. My hands are relaxed on my lap. Thighs are relaxed. Calf muscles are relaxed. Feet is relaxed. The soul is always touching the earth, balancing you, and constantly providing that support. So let us relax the sole of the feet as well. From head to toe, the body is completely relaxed. All the stress and tension that you have, keep it aside for a while. Give yourself this time to raise your vibrations. Let us go over the relaxation once more. My forehead is relaxed. My head is relaxed. My back is completely relaxed. My stomach and upper back, chest are completely relaxed. My hands are relaxed on my lap. My leg is relaxed. Both my legs are relaxed. My feet is relaxed. Soul also is completely relaxed. From head to toe, my entire body is completely relaxed and relaxed and relaxed. Now let's proceed to the Anapanasati meditation. The most simplest of the meditation given to us by Gautama Buddha. My extremely sincere gratitude to Buddhaji for this simple technique, and my sincere gratitude to Patriji for providing us this. Close your just watch your breath. When thoughts distract you, come back to your breath. Watch your inhaling and the exhaling process. If you can observe the breath going inside the body, continue to follow the breath wherever it goes. Masters, slowly come back to your consciousness. At the count of 5, keep your palms on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to day 11 of Divine Design. We will first take the message from the questions from the group. So Sanvi has asked this, differentiate soul and energy. So everything in the cosmos is basically energy, frequency, and vibrations. Everything is basically made with energy. So where is this energy coming from? Who's the source of this energy? It is that God. And we are all souls and we are all that God particle. So energy and soul is the same. However, there are other aspects also which are made up of energy in which soul may not be present, but it has been created by a soul. Okay, so there are other things which are also energy. Everything in the cosmos is made up of energy, and soul is also energy. Okay, and there are other aspects which are which may not have a soul attached to it, but which is also made up of energy. How does a non-living thing have a soul? So there are so many things like rocks also have a soul sometimes. Then not all non-living things have a soul. They are all called consciousness. They all have energy. They all have the intelligence that which is again the God particle. So even they have sufficient intelligence which is at their level. For example, if you are able to connect to that energy of a rock, if you are able to vibrate and understand a rock, because like we all speak the same language, which is energy, because I'm made up of energy, you are made up of energy, rock is made up of energy, water bottle is made up of energy. So we are all made up of energy. So if I'm able to understand the language of energy, which means energetically connect with something else, then I can definitely speak to it, and like any other human being. So if you have seen pyramid of Giza and all these huge pyramids that that were constructed centuries ago, they have all been made with one single rock in many cases, and it is so huge that it is impossible for you to comprehend today how exactly a person how did they even manage to place those huge boulders of rocks on top of each other as pyramids, right? And this is where many research also has been made, and they have also understood that the early humans, people in the people who came to Earth, right? People who came to Earth from other planets and all of that, which we are already reading. We had the capacity to do telepathy and other things. We were able to energetically connect to each other. So we didn't have a language at the time. So they were also able to construct such pyramids so that they will become energy they will receive energy to connect, to be on Earth. So pyramids are also one of those kinds of things where although it is meant for dead bodies and all of those things, but it is actually meant to receive cosmic energy on the planet and raise the energy of the planet, raise the vibrations of the planet. So in that sense, non-living thing may not have a soul, but they are all energy. So what if soul wants to experience being Earth or any other planet? So if you take a human being for that matter, right? Everything is a part of evolution, isn't it? So Earth, let's say Earth in its evolution, I'll just give a hypothetical number. Let's say Earth in its evolution points is about 1,000, which means her her level of awareness, her growth is 1,000. But let's say we have just so let's say a certain soul has just started his journey and then his points are 10. To get to the level, you can't comprehend or become earth unless you understand what is earth, what is it like being earth, the nature of earth, the nature of that soul, right? The nature of that soul is what we are experiencing in the form of earth today. That generosity and many of these things, right? The way she balances things and all that. So are you able to, is any soul able to play that kind of a role? If they are able to play that kind of a role and also give that nourishment and give that kind of support to other higher consciousness, right? The higher dimensional consciousness, that is when you'll also be able to become an earth in some other place, earth-like planet. I mean, I already explained that, right? And Bindu, what is the difference between energy and soul? What is that? What is the difference between energy and soul of being? What is it? Sorry, I just can't see one word. What is the difference between energy and soul of a being or non-living? See, soul doesn't need soul is ever present. Soul is something that is basically charging you. It is stuck, it is attached to a body, it is experiencing, it has intelligence, it is a God particle. It has that godness inside it. But if you take non-living things, which is a physical thing, non-living thing is a physical thing. This is also if a body dies, that is also like a non-living thing only. So any non-living thing is a non-living thing, if there is anything that is getting energy in it, that becomes a functional unit for a soul to experience. So everything is made up of energy. From that God, whatever came out, everything is energy only. This entire quantum field is energy only. Quantum means what? Energy only. Physical will not have any soul, no? Because physical is a vehicle made for a soul to experience physicality. So physical is just a body, is a dense body. It is not a soul. A soul is connected to it. That the energy particle, the God particle is basically connected to a physical body, which is also made up of energy, but it is at a denser level. Okay. So a denser level of energy is used as a vehicle for a subtler level of energy, which is a soul, to connect to and experience physicality. Okay. So what if a soul wants to experience Earth or being a planet? Then you should first you should first live like one. So you cannot automatically become a planet. You have to, first of all, understand what it is to actually be a planet. So if any soul is able to understand that, then that is what it is. Okay? Yeah. So non-living things have consciousness, Brahman, but no soul. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now we'll go to the Divine Design book. So we will start with this now. Traversing the 12D grid. Okay, we stopped at 12.4, 2.4. In the second chapter, this is the last part. Once all the individual and collective consciousness entering the grid moved into forms and we closed the grid. Okay, they closed the grid because everybody decided what all they want to be And it's like in a school, what happens in January, February, they're going to open up applications and people are going to apply, and they will close all the application process and receiving process and all that by March, April. Sorry, yeah, by March, April, I think they close. By June, the school will anyway start, at least in India. But in between the school, typically, students are not actually taken inside the school. Sometimes if there are let's say positions open or something, then they'll anyway do some exceptional process, but typically on a general note, they'll close the application process by the time June starts, when the school starts. There were many ways a higher dimensional consciousness could travel through the dimensional fields within the 12D grid. Many moved through intent and energy. So many higher dimensional consciousness souls, they moved between the dimensional fields through intent and energy. It means if they were from a higher consciousness, if they were already coming from higher consciousness, then they were able to move within the grid and experience higher dimensional. If a HDC was in the 6th grid, then they were not able to move to 7th or something, because they were that kind of what do you say, experience was not there. Okay. Just a minute, what is this? Okay, so that kind of experience was not there. But if they were from high HDC, which was in from a higher dimension, then they were able to move through many things through intent and energy. I want to go to 7th, which means they'll be in 7th, like that. They knew how the quantum field worked, and they would shift their frequency in a now moment to move into another dimensional field. So a person who wants to move should be able to either raise their frequency or reduce their frequency to be able to maintain and stay in that dimension, which is what we discussed yesterday, right? If some higher dimensional being wanted to participate in the Earth's experiment and they wanted to start off in the 5th dimension, a part of them should be able to vibrate in the 5th, which is going to also attach to the attach to the physical body. However, as they began to work with and participate with the earth plane and the humans on the earth plane in the lower dimensional fields, they began to create physical moving forms that would allow them to traverse the lower dimensional field with more ease and grace. So, like how we invented planes, which means planes and helicopters and all that. In the past, what did we do? We were walking, and then we eventually started to construct vehicles to sit on top of the vehicles and then traverse, because it was faster. Maybe it was faster for them also. And then see what happens is when you have to bear the effort of maintaining that frequency, reducing the frequency, increasing the frequency and all, it becomes a slightly difficult thing. So what they did, they actually invented some vehicles and they traveled through those vehicles, and the vehicles were able to manage that increasing and decreasing of frequency through technology. Okay, they were created like anything else in the quantum field through intent and energy. Consciousness within the 12D grid would intend the light codes to hold the physical form of a craft. Okay, they built something called craft. Have you heard of spacecrafts? In movies and all we've seen, right? Alien spacecrafts and all that. Actually, it is real. Okay, so they have created crafts. They would shift the light codes into a 5th or 6th or 7th dimensional field, and instantaneously a craft would appear. They would think, okay, they would take that, they would have some intention, and let's say they would be able to manipulate that energy and then code that energy. It's called light codes. Okay, they would basically code that energy with some intention that in the 5th dimensional field, I want a craft. Then that craft would appear like magic. Okay, something, it's called magic because it's not called magic if you know how to do it. If it's called magic, if you don't know how to do it, then it's called magic. They created the craft in the lower dimensional fields, as these were the three closest dimensional fields to Earth and humanity. So they created these crafts in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, as it was very close to Earth and humanity, because many of these many of these GFOL and all that were actually living in a very higher state, higher dimensional, and they were not physical. So for them to balance this whole thing, they needed a craft for them if they had to go, come back, travel, and all of that. It would be much easier to interact and connect from the craft within these three fields. So the craft was equipped with a lot of technology so that a person who would enter the craft can be a light being, but then the craft itself would be able to connect maybe with a let's say a video calling, that kind of technology and all may be there, or we don't know what are the features of those crafts, right? But they say that it was easier to connect with physicality with these crafts. Any higher dimensional consciousness, regardless of the frequency and dimensional field it held, could energetically move themselves into a craft while remaining in that frequency. So they did not have to reduce the frequency. The craft was designed such that it was able to hold a HTC which was in higher consciousness, but it was able to move through physicality by the craft itself used to go to 5th, 6th, and 7th and all that, but inside it used to maintain the temperature. Inside it used to maintain that thing. For example, we have these satellites, right? Satellites in which the satellite spaceships and all that, which our people used to go. Earth people go to space. In that oxygen is not there in space, but there is oxygen which is maintained inside the spacecraft, right? Something like that. Here also, even though outside environment is different compared to inside environment, and you are an oxygen taker, you were able to navigate in an environment where there was where there was no oxygen. Something like this, they used to manipulate something like this and then manage. Any higher dimensional consciousness, regardless of the frequency, could energetically move themselves into a craft while remaining in the frequency. So if a craft was in 5th, 6th, 7th, a 12D consciousness could shift their frequency down to 7D and enter the craft. So what they also say is that person could shift their frequency, he could also reduce their frequency and enter the craft. He didn't need a physical body, because now the physical body is a craft. They didn't need a human body kind of thing. Crafts were and still are one of the most miraculous creations within the 12D grid. There are hundreds and thousands of these crafts currently around the Earth plane and accessed within the 12D grid. Craft allows higher dimensional consciousness to have more intimate and palpable experience with the Earth plane and human beings. Craft provides a place where the human beings and the higher dimensional consciousness can connect. The human's etheric body had the ability to travel into the craft and receive teachings, healings, activations, or anything else that it desired by the human. When did this occur? It occurred for the human in the dream state and the waking state. In the dream state, when it happens, in the dream state, rather when we are all asleep, when the physical body is asleep, I have told you that the astral body actually travels, because the physical had to sleep, physical needed rest, but that soul component, the subtle body, does not need any rest. So it will go wherever it needs to basically get knowledge or to interact with other family members who are in the other other dimensions, or basically it will just go do things that it is necessary to for the purpose of its evolution. It will go and acquire something for the purpose of its evolution. And in the waking state, when does that happen? In meditation and all of that. In meditation, when you're when you're in conscious state also, astral body traveling people do, right? So they will also be able to go like that and go to places where there are these masters, teachers, gurus and all in the subtle body level. They would go to them and then they would get all this thing done. There are so many councils. There are also many councils, including us. Us means GFOL that reside in a craft. These councils are designed to focus solely on assisting humanity and Earth through their evolution. See, you must understand this entire Earth's experiment is a well closely monitored environment. Okay. It is not like Earth is managing her own air, Earth is managing the air or water balance, or the sun, or the planets around her, or the stars. Everything is somebody or the other sitting behind that object, right? Sitting behind that form. We saw yesterday that planets also have some form behind it, star systems also have some form behind it, then even the sun has a form behind it, moon has a form behind it. So if everybody have to come together and work in harmony, there should also be a government to manage this whole thing. Because uh, if I am working as a sun, then I will be focused on only my job. I won't be able to look at the overall picture of what everybody wants, and all of that, but or the general direction and things like that. So if everything is going well, who oversight, right? So who is basically overseeing this whole thing? It's that GFOL. So they must physically remain closer to the earth plane to monitor every now moment. Every now moment they are monitoring. Every now moment. See, not just GFOL, every single human being who has transcended earth, who has transcended their karmic body, and they have ascended. Ascended means they have raised their vibration while being on a physical body so much that the body became invisible. And they have moved over to the higher dimensions. That is what is called ascension. Jesus is an ascended master. Ramta is an ascended master. Then even Krishna is an ascended master. Then even I don't know who else is there are so many ascended master. Kutumni, they say, is an ascended master. Tara is an ascended master. There are so many people who are an ascended master. Mahatar Babaji is an ascended master. So like this, there are so many people who are ascended masters. Ascended means they have they have evolved themselves to higher planes. So such people also are working closely with the GFOL and then monitoring Earth. Work in the 12D grid. Okay, so there is so much of work in the 12D grid because there are so many planets, so many star systems, so many people who need to evolve in their own way. So there is a lot of work that everybody keeps doing to make sure that everything is harmoniously maintained and all that. Have you imagined why is that the earth constantly doesn't keep getting stuck by meteorites and all of those astral space bodies? Because there is always that kind of monitoring that is happening at every single. We are not alone. We are not alone means at a soul level also we are not alone, because even when we have incarnated on earth, there is always a guardian angel that is assigned to us to oversee us, and they have protected us many times. They have protected this body from dying many times accidentally. The death plan would not be there, but accidentally some decisions are taken in the now moment which has not been planned, because every future is not like it is predicted. So they are watching very, very closely, which means they are 100% in the present moment. We are not in the present moment. Like, we have also missed so many accidents and all that, like closely, right? So there are so many times which we don't even know when all we have missed that near death. So like this, they keep protecting us. So there is always a lot of work happening at an astral level to constantly monitor all the physical bodies and the soul behind the physical bodies, because if it's in the 3D and 4D, they have forgotten themselves. It allows us to be in close. Everything we designed within the 12D grid, including the grid itself, has a purpose, right? We know that. The grid allows for contained environment to ensure that Earth's safest outcome happens. The form allows all the individual and collective consciousness to reside within the 12D grid and participate with and on the Earth. It is all a part of the divine design. So everything that you can ever think of, ever dream of, ever even everything that you have ever experienced in the past, everything that you're experiencing in the present, everything that you're experiencing, going to experience in the future also, every single now moment has already been, what do you say, that every possible potential has already been created on earth. But all that you are doing is you are energetically raising your vibrations or connecting to that frequency or something like that, and then attracting that into your reality. We are just experience takers. We are consumers. Okay? As human beings, we are consumers. When you get into the human body, you become a consumer. You are not a you think that you are a creator, but as a part of the creation process, you are only limited to let's say your own karmic imprints, that your own free will, that free will is there, right? The free will of how you respond to that experience, that much of free will you have, that much what is your, so based on that free will and response, that will come to you. Some other experience is going to come to you, right, as a or or as a response or whatever. That is what is called your creation. But every single possible thing has already been created. Okay. The 12D grid holds everything. It holds all galaxies, star systems, solar systems, and anything that the human linear mind can imagine or believe to exist. Every experience that was had, is being had, or will be had on the earth is held in the 12D grid. See, it is not as simple as what I am telling you. I am only telling you what I am able to perceive. Okay, this perception is what is called growth. Like I told you, right? A question and an answer. Every question has an answer at different dimensions. So if I ask a question, that answer at a 3D level, I can get a different answer. In the 3D itself, a lower portion of the 3D, a little middle portion of the 3D, a higher portion of the 3D can have a different answer, different answer. Every point in that quantum field can have a different answer. Okay, like that, what I am telling you is what I can perceive. Okay, what I'm telling you is what I can perceive. What I am getting as information, which I am sending to you, I am only a vessel. I am only like a pipe, because I have not experienced all these things consciously. It's not like I am an enlightened master or something, can understand all this. But I personally believe that something is coming, some information is coming through me to you. Okay, but that information that is coming to me may be even higher than what that information potential can be higher. But what my body can receive is what I am able to communicate to you. And what you are able to understand is what your body can perceive, what you are able to catch. If you are not able to catch 100% of what I'm saying, it is because that much of vibrations are necessary for your physical body to grasp it. So this universe knowledge is so vast, is so infinite, that you always need to be a growing, learning only. Because there is so much more to learn, there is so much more to grow and understand. Okay, so see, there are so many concepts like universe, multiverse. I mean, like how we say octagon, tetragon, this gun, that gun, hexagon, and all like that. There is a hexa universe, this universe, tetra universe. There are so many kinds of concepts like that, which our mind finds very difficult to grasp, because our body has not evolved to accept that energy yet. So over a period of evolution, we will all be able to understand that at some point. But let us hope that we will continue to strive to evolve ourselves to understand all of this and grow as per that. This concept may be challenging to understand because the three-dimensional uses the belief system of science to explain its surroundings. Science is a beautiful tool. It allows the human to understand the physical 3D reality. However, it is a truth that can only hold validity within the 3D lens. And this entire experiment and all that exists within is seen through the 12D lens. We have no clue what is this 12D, right? Because it's all at that level, body level, mind level, spirit level. There are so many different levels. Science can only take a human so far, and then one must turn to energy. So the language of energy, how much you are able to grasp, then you will be able to understand the concepts very easily. Because energy says, now let's say there is some energy. Everything is energy. Unless I focus on that energy, unless I observe something like this, it will not behave like what it should supposed to. For example, let's say this bottle of water. This bottle of water is not in front of me. Okay, it is somewhere else. If it is not in front of me, then obviously this is energy. This is pure energy. It doesn't even have to take the shape of a bottle. We think that if something is away from me, now I'm not seeing the sofa in my house, but I don't know that when I'm not looking at the sofa, is that sofa looking like a sofa, or is the sofa basically just energy, invisible kind of thing? I don't know. But what will I do? If I have to understand that, I will observe the sofa like this. As soon as I observe the sofa, or as soon as I put my intention of observing the sofa looks like a sofa. That is how energy behaves. This is an experiment that has been done by science also. At a quantum level, they've done it. This energy will become a particle, or it will remain a wave. Which means if you observe it, it will have a shape. It will give me a different experience. But if I don't observe it, then it will be a wave, they say. Like that, they have conducted experiments. So it is very intelligent. Energy is very intelligent. You can't actually, so to understand that intelligent thing, you have to basically also understand it. For example, money is also energy. We say, right, money is also energy, water is energy, then everything is energy. Like if water is energy and you speak gratitude to water and all that, the water molecules respond. So that intelligence is there in every single consciousness, whether it's a non-living thing or a living thing. That intelligence is there because that energy has intelligence. But you need to get to that energy level kind of talk for you to be able to connect to that energy and make it respond to you the way you want. Everything was designed with energy and exists as energy. It is not the human's fault that they are unable to see the entire energetic design. We hope through the pages of this book you remember what you have always known and have just forgotten due to the density within your field. As you begin to understand just how large the 12D is, you will see that nothing created is a mistake. It is all a divine design. Perhaps the most miraculous aspect of this design and experiment was the human form itself. It is so beautiful that they have actually made sure that not just like when God sent off this sparks everywhere, it was not like everybody was chaotically doing whatever they want and all of that. Somebody, some intelligent being like Earth, she came together and she said, I want to do this and I want to take as many people along with me in the process of evolution, in the process of connecting back to God. So she is that true Buddha. Do you understand that Buddha is one who not only understands who he is. Okay, first he works for himself as an arihant. When he works for himself to understand himself and all of that, he's an arihant. Then he becomes a bodhisattva. As a bodhisattva, what he does, he's now sharing his experience of various lives. He took many lives to basically become an arihant, right? Before becoming an arihant, he did not even have a clue that he was a soul. And then as in the process of becoming an arihant for few lives, he understood he is a soul and then he became enlightened. or he may not have become enlightened, but he understood he's a soul. So that is Arihant. Then eventually he became a bodhisattva, which means he's sharing his experience to other souls and helping them evolve. And then eventually, that also will happen few lives. And then as a Buddha, what happens? He will take people along with him. He will travel far and wide, and then he will make people go along. He will show people how to get there, right? He will not help people how to get there. He will show people how to get there. So Earth is also a Buddha. Earth may be much higher than a Buddha, because I may not be able to comprehend that. So she's able to take people along with her. And all of these people who came together to assist in this divine process, how much of work they must have done in the imagination process, creation process, in this whole thing coming together. Because if you are outside the grid, it is just pure emptiness. It is just emptiness, right? It is just void everywhere. But inside the grid, so many people have come, so many people have created stars and planets and this and that, and some asteroids and comets and something and all they've created, right? So it's all happening. It's all fun. It's all nice. So, so it's a fun environment to be in, to basically grow together, evolve together, rather than basically be in some corner and just do things for yourself. I mean, I don't know what is outside the 12 degree. I don't even have we don't even have the understanding how 12D works. And if you grow to become a master who can understand beyond 12D, that is when you will probably not even come to as a human being. You'll not even be able to connect to humans, because humans cannot even comprehend that. Maybe you'll be giving that gyan to somebody in the 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D and all that. Maybe there are teachers there also. Okay. So we'll do a part of chapter 3, the human form. The 5D human form. Once we had the 12D grid in place, we then designed the human form. We selected a group of 12 higher dimensional light beings within our federation to design and create the form. These beings are known by the humans as Lyrans, Orions, and the Andromedans. So they are other beings, light beings. They are higher dimensional light beings, and they occupy these star systems, the Orion star systems, Andromedan star system, the Lyran star systems, and they came together to create, because each of these people are specialized in certain. Some may be specialized in technology, some may be specialized in light codes. So everybody has knowledge of certain areas. So they all come together. They created the human 5D form the same way we created the earth plane and all the physical forms on the earth through the intention and energy. They came and created human form, but GFOL and that federation created earth plane and physical forms through intent and energy. There are similarities to the design of the human form. See, why do they say that when you have heard people say, you only created everything, you are only God? It means that everything, all of us, whether it is a Bindu, me, Sangeeta, the soul behind us, we are all different. We are not the same, but we are one. You understand that, right? We are one. That oneness is there because we are originating from the same source, but we are expressing ourselves differently. That is why we are not the same. But because we are one, and the same God particle only has created everything, they say we only created the earth. We only created this tree. We only are experiencing the tree. Okay? You should not feel separated. You should not feel that sense of separation, because at some higher level, we are all one. Okay, we are all in that same band, that soul band. It's called the over self. We are all in that same band. Further down, further splitting and all happened. Okay, so that when everything was in the state of oneness, everything was created. But now you are experiencing separation. But you cannot say, oh, did Smita did I create this mango tree? You cannot ask questions like that. Because when I was no longer Smita. I was still not even Smita. I was somewhere higher. At that level, it was created. And then a part of that was coming down. There are similarities to the design of the human form and all the other 5D forms. They are all created from 12D light codes, have an energetic field around their form, hold an energetic channel within their form, and can hold a quotient of the higher dimensional consciousness light within their form. Okay, so human beings also, like how the other forms are doing it, similarly, same concept. However, the human form was much more complex creation because it holds different intentions and experiences in all the other forms on the earth. It was designed to allow higher dimensional consciousness to create, engage, and navigate the 5D field differently from all the other forms on earth plane. This required more design characteristics to ensure its success in the 5D field. See, if you take an animal will be continuously living on 3D only. As a HDC, if I want to experience the life of an animal, I will get into the animal. I will use that form. I will become a baby for a lion or something like that, and I will grow as a lion. I will experience the lion. But lion will not have evolution process. Lion will not go through evolution. Lion's body is not going to go through evolution's process. But human body is meant to go through evolution process, right? So which is why human had to be different. Human had to be more evolved in nature. It had to create, engage, and navigate in the 5D field differently from all the other forms in the earth plane. The intention. We began with the intention, the visual characteristics, and the purpose of the human form. First, we needed to visualize a physical 5D human form. We knew we would have both masculine and feminine forms that would stand upright in order to navigate the physical terrain. See, now there is a physical earth. There are hills, and so many things are there on earth, right? Since it was all there, it had all got created. So to travel on earth through this physical body, we had to ensure that the form could physically experience the 5D. See, we are talking still about 5D, okay? We visualized eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and external feet and hands. We created the internal body, including the organs, bones, skin, nerves, ligaments, cells, in order to ensure that the form could stay alive while on the planet. We intended and visualized a model for the physicality of the human form. Once we understood how the physical form would look, we created the purpose of the human form. We had 3 purposes for the human form. Okay? Understand what all your purposes are now. The body had to hold a HDC within its form. Okay? That is a purpose. The body must allow the HDC to participate and engage in the 5D field actively and consciously. The human form would have the ability to shift from 5D to 7D field. Okay, we'll do light codes tomorrow. Okay, let me just stop here. Okay, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, friends. People who are watching YouTube, you can actually connect to Zoom and participate more actively if in case people are there. Any questions so far? No questions? Bindu, you can't unmute, huh? Okay, fine. Here they keep saying we. Yes, it's GFOL. Yes, it's GFOL. See, most of these masters who do channeling and all of that, they typically are in a group consciousness. They are in a group they work in teams. Okay, they work in a team. They work together. They don't operate alone. So this is why most of the channel books you hear we. Even Seth books, he calls himself They call themselves we. There are so many HTCs participating as one mind. Okay, one mind. So that's how it is. Even Abraham Hicks, if you've heard of Abraham Hicks, Abraham calls himself we. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. If there are no questions, then we'll wind up here. Or should we continue for another 15 minutes? What do you want to do? If you don't have any questions, then we can continue for 15 minutes, few more pages. Right? Who am I to stop the class in between? Let me just share. Okay, light codes. Once we created the intentions, we moved those intentions into 12D light codes, energetically and telepathically. The light codes are what creates the physical form. See, light codes have always been those entities, or whatever you want to call it, that held information about what has to be created, no? Something like that. Remember, light codes are high frequency light that holds intention and information, allowing the creation of new realities, forms, and experiences. See, when we are manifesting, or when we are, this law of attraction also works on the same concept. Because we are also that we have the power of creation, right? Because we are also a particle of God. Let's say when we are angry, when we are constantly saying, I am good, or rather, let's say, let me see, I feel abundant, I have lots of money with me, thank you God for the money. All that, when we keep saying, what actually happens is we are programming light codes at a higher frequency level at which gratitude is there. So when we go to that higher frequency, and then we are programming those light codes, and that is again fetching to us some reality which has already been created, and it is coming to us. The codes shift or alchemize into different frequencies depending upon the intentions placed within them. Once the intentions of the human form were placed within the light codes, we began to shift the codes down from 12D to 5D frequency to create the physical human form. See, our form, okay, every particle of our human body has been made with the 12D frequency. Okay, we feel so limited, right? But actually, we are limitless. We should feel limitless. This human body is capable of doing anything. This anything is, it's capable of achieving anything. But provided we use it to that level. And to use it to that level, we need to have that knowledge to that level. To have that knowledge to that level, we need to vibrate to that level. Right? So it's all connected thing. The codes began to alchemize and shift from light to a crystalline matter. The light codes created a human form that has a crystalline structure with a dense matter holding it together. In the now moment, we turned light into matter. It seems this human body became, from light, it became matter. So when you evolve, what happens? From matter, you become light. When you're going to higher frequencies, you become light. From coming from higher frequencies to lower frequencies, from light, you come to matter. The 12D light codes were held in a 5D frequency, allowing the physical human form to appear. The light codes always hold the original 12D frequency. For example, the 12D light codes have now shifted down to a 5D frequency to create the human form, correct? No? However, the 5D codes are also existing in the 6D, 7D, and all these frequencies. An aspect of that code is there in each of these frequencies, which is why during evolution, we understood that sun is activating the light codes. Sun is not creating light codes, okay? Sun is activating your light codes, means if you shift from this point to this frequency, that codes which are already necessary for your human form is already here. what sun is doing is it's basically switching on the buttons of that. That's all. The activation of light code occurs when the human shifts from lower frequencies to higher frequencies. This shifting will naturally activate the light codes, allowing the codes to shift frequencies as well. When light codes activate, the human has new information that is held together in those higher codes. So, which is why when we shift from lower frequency to higher frequency, we are able to understand some higher knowledge better than what we could understand before. That is why we say, if you have read certain spiritual books today, or maybe in the past 1 year, and you come back to read that same book again, your takeaway will be very different. Your knowledge of understanding will be very different. Same book, because now the answers that you're ready to receive will be different. It was always there. The sentences were always there. The physical words were always there. But when you took those words inside your mind, the mind was able to perceive another level of information. Okay, so this is what it means. Because now your higher light codes have been activated. And what happens when these light codes get activated? Also, we go through at a physical level, we also go through a detox. Emotional level, we go through a detox. Mental level, we go through a detox. Physical level, how do we detox? We get cold, we get cough, we get fevers, loose motions, stomach pain, leg pain, this pain, that pain. Something or the other has to basically be corrected. Let's say if one light code, if some light code has to be activated and it needs your hands to be stronger or something, your bones to be stronger to contain that information that is coming. The cells inside your body should actually contain a higher level information. Then what happens? The cells strength will start changing. The DNA light codes will start getting activated at that level. So which means you have to detox, which means the lower energies that were already inside you will have to leave you. And how will it leave? How will energy from a physical body leaves only through physical ways? Okay, it doesn't come out as air. It is not coming out as steam or something like that. Okay, we don't release steam from ourselves. We release in the form of these kinds of things only. Mucus, loose motion, all of these pains and problems and all of those things comes. And emotional detox also happens in many different ways. We may release it as anger, this, that, emotional issues. All of those things can happen. And also, how do we do mental detox? Certain older belief systems will go and newer belief systems will come. And of course, again, the mental, physical, and emotional also have to align in each of these light codes, which is what is called assimilation. Acclimation happened. Acclimation is receiving those light codes and then incorporating that into your body. Assimilation is ensuring that my body works as per the light code. It adjusts to the light code, which is what is going to initiate a detox, which is why every single problem that you have as a physical body, typically we can understand physical level detox, right? More often than emotional and mental. So physical level detoxes are majorly called spiritual activations, which is exactly why you need to be in acceptance state. Although if you go from a lower frequency to a higher frequency, it is not a very pleasant experience, because the process of releasing lower energies are painful sometimes. Because how did you may have at that level, if you are in this level, you may have accumulated emotions, you may have accumulated belief systems and all of those things, which are expressing through the physical body, right? So when your belief systems and emotions change, again they have to be released through the human body only. That delta has to be released through the human body only. So this is what is called a spiritual activation. So which is why every physical issue needs to be accepted as something beautiful that is happening to you, and you are evolving in the process. Even if it's somebody who's fighting a terminal issue, such as, let's say, cancer, and they are also ready to die and all of those things, it is not that cancer actually killed them. They want to evolve their subtle bodies. they're releasing their emotions, they're releasing their lower belief systems and all of that through this cancer, so that in their next body that they choose, they will have a better, they will go through a better evolved body. Rather, that the evolution point will start from another body. At a higher level of evolution point, they will start. Many people think that cancer is the one who's killing me and they are in fear. It's a separate process, right? This evolution is a separate process. Death is a separate process. Death has nothing to do with health. That is something that you need to write down somewhere and keep. Nobody dies because they are of lack of health. If somebody in your house is suffering and if they are drinking alcohol, if they are chewing tobacco and all that, don't tell them you will get cancer. You will get cancer. Don't do all these things. Don't tell them all such things. And then you are basically creating a reality of cancer in your own life. Because when you speak, you are actually also releasing creation codes from your mouth. So that is the power of this human body. It is a 12D human body. You don't even know what all this body is capable of doing, and you are not conscious also. How are these karmas constantly coming to us as experiences? And we keep telling, hey, you wouldn't have created your reality. You only have created your life. All these problems you only have created. You only have created. How did I create? You created. You don't know how you created. That is the kind of ignorance we are in as of now. But at least intellectually we can understand all these things, that health is separate and I'm going through a spiritual activation, and I may say, I may choose, a soul may choose and say, okay, I want to basically go through a spiritual activation process or a detox process through cancer, and I want to leave the body. I want to exit this body through cancer, because not every single body understands, or every single soul understands at that level. They're not evolved enough to understand that I can actually gracefully die. I can actually gracefully exit like a yogi. Okay, with just focus on my breath, I can gracefully exit. That kind of concept is not known yet for a soul who has not evolved to that level. So what they do, they pick up some very happening life-threatening issues such as heart attacks or cancers and things like that, and they will come with a plan. Okay, I'm going to die of heart attack, I'm going to die of cancer, I'm going to die of this, I'm going to die of that. So people choose the way they die also. People choose the way they die. Maybe they just want to experience an accident death. Maybe they just want to experience some plane crash, something and all. I mean, it really, you should not, you should just honor the person's decision of dying in whatever form they want. Who are we to say why they died like that? So anyway, just coming back to this, I don't know where I was. When the light codes, so detox, right? So physical detox is a very beautiful process, and if you understand that, if you are in the mindset that I'm actually going through a detox, and this pain and problems and all of those things is going to lead me to something more higher knowledge wise, more higher experience wise, or whatever, like that, right? You'll, it's a more beautiful feeling. Okay. Once we had the human form designed and in 5D physicality, we needed to create a way to hold the light codes within the form. Okay, yeah. We need to hold the light codes within the form. They needed to be held in a unique way to allow the codes to potentially activate within the human form. So where are these light codes inside this human form as we are evolving? It is in our DNA. Now we have only a 2-strand. We can only see. Okay, we can only microscopically see only 2 strands of DNA, right? Double helix. Why? Because that is our level of 3D. In 3D, we can only understand that much. And science also has understood only that. Science also has understood only that much. But actually, we have a 12 strands of DNA, because that human body had to become more and more complex over a period of time, and that much more light codes had to be, like, so many thousands of light codes, I think they have, which is contained in the DNA. And every time when the sun comes through and all that, it gets activated. And not just because you are under sun or something. In general also, we are evolving. Okay, we will stop here. Yeah, Sangeeta, you can unmute, so you can come on video and ask. Yeah, I can see you. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So earlier I forgot the question and then I typed it in case I forget it again. So
No
in
problem.
the previous recordings, I heard that thoughts come from source, and it kind of confused me. What about the thoughts that we get during meditation? Are those thoughts also coming from the source and not from our ego?
We are not separate from the source, no? Thoughts are, see, thoughts are like a pool. It is given to all the children. This at from the source level when it comes, right? Everybody gets it. For example, if I want to if I want to, you can just say that everybody has the option of picking a certain thought based on, every soul has the what do you say, freedom of picking a certain thought and then experiencing that emotion. The fact that there is a rose, there is a thought, that's a thought only which comes, there is a rose, but that kind of thought everybody gets, no? But how you feel about it is changing. Every soul expresses the thought differently as an emotion, but the thought is the same. thoughts are Thoughts are there for access, which is exactly why when we say meditate during Brahma Muhurat or something like that, the thoughts are less at that time because many people are sleeping. So not too many thoughts are in that space. Thoughts are coming from the thinker only, which is that source. We are only experience givers for the source in various different ways. Source only is experiencing everything, but a portion of that source is the thinker or the thought giver.
But the Vedanta concept is this the ultimate self is not the doer and not the experiencer. And
At some
here,
at some level, he becomes a thinker.
Mm.
From a previous level, the next level is the doer.
Okay.
Doer of maybe watching also. Doer of witnessing also is a activity, no?
Mm. So whatever things I've gathered from different sources, I'm trying to fit them together.
Absolutely, that is how we actually learn, no? It's okay. Today you might understand something, like late, suddenly you may understand something else. Like for example, today nobody joined at 3:30. Nobody joined at 3:30, and sorry. I don't know what I was actually speaking.
I said that I'm gathering information from different sources and trying to fit them together. That's what you were answering at that time.
Yeah, actually, it's okay. Never mind. I'll talk sometime later.
No, 3:30 meditation, you told nobody joined.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So I was actually thinking today nobody joined, so maybe I had to wait for
You-
somebody on Zoom. By 3:33, I realized this call is actually being recorded, which means there might be people on Zoom, YouTube also who are watching. I mean, it hit me like so deep, right? I mean, it was like a shocking thing to me. And at that moment, I also realized that in Shambhala, Deepti ji was also saying that there are so many astral beings from other planets also listening to the meditations and gyan and other things she was actually giving. It is, I mean, it hit me like anything. It's like, oh my God, I was actually waiting for people to attend on Zoom, which was a physical thing. But the purpose of this is so huge. 2 minutes I wasted just in that process. But I can't call it wasted because that 2 minutes helped me realize the value of time and the importance that we come here to do this service. Because whatever I'm telling is actually not my knowledge. Apart from when I read the Divine Design book, I didn't have this much of awareness 2 months back. But now what I'm telling you is many things are new to me also. So where is this coming from? Somewhere it is coming from, right? So I have to respect the people who are giving this knowledge to me so that I can pass it on to you. Which means this physical body is being used to pass on that information. And it hit me really hard that, oh my God. And I didn't, that exact point that she told came from somewhere else, from some other part of multidimensionality in the past. So this is what, and when you gather information, when you remember something somebody told you, again, which is why we are called multidimensional beings. In any now moment, there's only one now moment. We think there's a past, present, and future. What she told is also actually happening now only, but my mind is perceiving it as past. Anyway.
In the chat, Bindu has mentioned something, and I also think it's that when we are meditating alone, it's good, but when we do it with others, it kind of becomes
the
more
vibrations are very
intensified.
high. See what you, the group energies that people come together, right? They all have made energies for themselves. So they are all coming collectively in this group. And then when you take that, rather you are banking on the group's energy to understand few things now, in this now moment. But when you're alone and you do this, you may actually not understand that much. That is why they say attend live classes. Preferably. You can definitely pick up, but you need to get to the level that the group energy is to get the 100% effect of that.
And also, people say you should have a living guru if you really want to achieve.
Living guru, not necessary. Maybe at some point in our life, at some life, we may have had gurus, but we'll not need a guru if we are able to eventually connect to our own intuition. Our own inner self is only our guru. But because we were not able to connect to that, somebody in front of us with whom we sign a contract and say, you come to me as a guru kind of thing, they will tell us what we already know. What is already inside us only, they will tell us, so that they can connect us to ourselves. But once we are able to connect to ourselves, usually gurus won't be there in our life. And then the information that you receive intuitively is far more advanced compared to what a guru will tell you. This is more real time.
Okay.
That any guru is only going to appear in front of you. A guru will appear in front of you when you're ready. So let's say even physical. But if you are not needing a guru, guru will never appear in your life. You may feel, yeah, it'll be nice to have a guru, ask him all these questions so that I don't have to think on my own. Even I feel that. But although I've always craved for one such person whom I can actually go to and ask something, there has never been any such person in my life. And every single time I have a question, I'll think, who can I ask this? Who can I ask this? There is not a single person who will pop up in my head. And even if there are people, they are not accessible. So for me, right from 2012 in my journey, there has not been gurus as such. So that is why my connection to myself is strong. You can say I was forced to go in that journey. So every single question, every single answer comes from inside only. Inside means information may come from outside. Let's say you may see a post, you may see a chat window, you may see something, but the interpretation of that is coming from inside. That is real time. That is how we grow. You cannot always rely on external information. That's a process of evolution. It happens in the process of evolution to everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
I do meditation daily. Is there any class during that time, Smita, where I can contact and see this 5 a.m. classes keeps happening and it finishes and all of those things. Typically on PSSM channels, there is always a live meditation that is there in PMC English or PMC Hindi or something. Then you can switch on, and whoever logs on to that particular channel, that group energy will be used. So if that is what you want. But at some point you have to still get there on your own, right? This is not an exam where you have a deadline or something. So do it on your own also. That's also okay. How do you get to understand the intuition and know for sure it is my intuition and not the mind? So how do I connect to myself? See, you need to let go a lot of yourself. You need to basically function more like an instrument, function more for a higher purpose than a higher purpose can be working for the well-being of the body without actually seeing a lot of selfishness in that. See, ego pushti, they say, right? Pushting the ego, feeding the ego is anti-intuition. The more you feed your ego, the more you keep feeding your ego, the less is your connection with the soul, or the voices of the soul or the information coming from the soul is less. So that is what I can say. And you need to develop that over a period of time. Like, for example, surrender helps you to connect more with intuition. Acceptance helps you to connect more with intuition, because you're making yourself ready to becoming fearless. The more you become fearless in life, the more you start cultivating trust, faith, and dependency on the universe itself for outcomes. And if you are making yourself ready for accepting those outcomes the way it is and things like that, then you'll get connected to your intuitions automatically. Then when a thought comes, you're not questioning a thought. For example, let's say you'll get a thought, for example, saying, hey, wear your helmet and go. But what will ego do? Ego will say, Ayo, I'm anyway going to the corner only, no? Why do I have to wear my helmet? Plus, no traffic comes on this road. To go to that corner, why should I wear a helmet? So all this ego will do. Ego will give you reasons why you should do that. But intuition will never give you reasons. It will just say do. It will just come as a thought, do. So for me, it has become so integral part of my life that I have never planned for any of my breakfast recipes and things like that. 5 o'clock I sit for meditation. Almost 6:45, I'm getting up. 6:45, 7 I get up. I have 7 to 7:45 to make breakfast for my daughter. Breakfast means dabba. I have no clue what I'm going to actually do. At that time, when a thought comes, it will usually be very okay for that. So it works. Intuition works, and sometimes like today, I told you, right, what happened for the Zoom thing and all that. If I'm not connected to my intuition, I will never be able to. I'll still be waiting. I'll still be waiting for people to join, and then I will start. But if I'm connected to my intuition, as soon as that thing comes, you can't miss it. Because I have forgotten to understand other sources of information. It is very rare for me to get some other source of information and act from it. That is very less for me. Inside, whatever comes is more frequent. No, that is why as soon as that thought popped up saying, "Hey, this is for a higher purpose." There are people on YouTube also. There could be people from other dimensions also who are witnessing this. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing, right? So do your job. Be a giver. The more we become a giver, and stop expecting from life, that is when your intuitive powers increases. If you have, see, the way you have to think is, if I have to become a ascended master one day, how will I behave? I should keep saying we. What do you mean we? Even let's say I teach you, but I'll not take the credit in this process. And I'll teach something to somebody, and I'm okay that they don't even know that I did it. That is the power of giving. Giving means you should get to a level where nothing should really affect you, but you should keep giving. Like a tree. Tree is working its whole life to make a fruit. It is taking the most sattvic aspects of all the 5 elements, and it is actually putting that in its fruit. And it is putting that so that the consumers can actually use it. Tree doesn't use its fruit. Tree is only making fruits. And it is making seeds to make more trees like itself. That is a power of giving. And when we are able to get to that level, the slowly we get to that level, the intuition also increases. The connection with your soul increases. Intuition is nothing but a message that comes from the soul level, your own higher self. And you are not, the ego is not blocking it with its belief systems. And the mind is also not aligned with ego. It is, my ego means an alternative personality, your alternative identity. You are identifying with your body, and you're not identifying with the soul. Soul also has ego, but soul has a different personality, different kind of I-ness. It is more in the we kind of mode. But ego is more in the I kind of mode. So the more we leave our I, where all you have expectations in life, everywhere you need to drop. That is when your intuitive power increases. Like, for example, my mother used to give me so many sentences where she would expect me to do a certain things. And I would think, why my mother keeps telling me all these things? I didn't even know what to do, right? Then at some point it hit me that there are so many clients that I have, and sometimes when they don't send me reports, I'm actually expecting them to send me reports. There is an expectation. But it is not necessary that they send me reports, because it is up to them whether they want to heal or no. They have to be empowered. If they reach me, I'm like a tree, I'm going to give them a fruit. But if they don't reach me, the tree always has a fruit. How much you use the fruit is up to you. So then I corrected myself, and I realized, oh my God, these are the places where I'm actually expecting. I've sent some information to somebody, but they have not acknowledged that information. All these are expectations only. You had some information coming from the source. You gave it to somebody. Why should you expect something back? You don't have to expect something back. When you need that information, it'll come back from source only. So, I mean, I put all that in my head. So these are intuitive thoughts. The way we connect things. I mean, it'll happen over a period of time. Evolution process through the process of evolution, everybody gets to that place. Okay, chalo. I'll close the call here. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye. I used to even question myself why there are so many less people. Maybe they are not understanding. Maybe it's too complex, whatever. But then now I've stopped bothering. Even if one person is there, I'm going to explain. Even if 0 people are there on Zoom today, in fact, if none of you were here, no, I would have definitely done this recording.